Today we're gonna do an inner thigh and core workout. We're gonna need the magic circle, aka Pilates ring. So go ahead and grab one. Then let's set up the springs to 3 reps and we can go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with the heels on the bar. We're gonna try to bring the heels hip width apart. Obviously, since we have the ring, it's a little bit hard. So we're already feeling that resistance. From here, go ahead and place your hands on your rib cage. Don't push the carriage out just yet. I want you to first squeeze into that ring slowly. Notice what's happening in your ribs and slowly release. Exhale as you squeeze. Notice what happened to your ribs and slowly inhale to release. So what you should be feeling is that as you're squeezing into the ring, your ribs are also coming in together. So they're contracting. This is what we mean, what we say we want to zip up our ribs. We want to bring them close together. That helps us engage our core. And then as we open up the ring, our ribs are coming out to the sides a little bit. So this is just a nice warm up to get the breath ready. That way we can coordinate our breath with our movement, something that is very important to do in our Pilates practice so that we can engage our core while we exhale. And as we inhale, we can lengthen. Let's go for just 3 more squeezes, nice and slowly. Keeping the tailbone heavy on the carriage as we squeeze. Keeping the hips stable and square to the ceiling. And now last one, we're gonna hold on to that squeeze. Let's go into tiny little pulses in. Now we're really feeling the work on the inner thighs. We're feeling the core connection with the inner thighs. I mean, really, the core includes the inner thighs here. Last 4, 3, 2, last one. Keep a little bit of tension onto that ring. Start to dig your heels onto the bar. And now we're gonna push the carriage all the way up. Straighten out those legs as much as you can. I know it's a little bit hard since we have the ring in place. And then slowly lower down. Here I'm gonna adjust the ring a little bit because I noticed it was starting to come off. And go ahead and inhale, push away, lengthen the legs, straighten out. Slowly, we're gonna lower back down. Here, let's go for 8 more. 7. 6. Here, I'm really noticing how every time I'm bringing my legs back down to the foot bar, my inner thighs are shaking. It's harder to keep my hips stable. So I really have to work hard. I have to engage my breath. I have to work my core in order to calmly go down. And just 2 more. Everything is shaking already. Last one. I'm gonna lower halfway down. And once I'm halfway down, I'm gonna slowly pulse down to the foot bar. Here I'm feeling my inner thighs, my glutes, my hamstrings. The slower I go, the more I'm feeling it. Don't open up the knees, don't lose the resistance from that ring. Last 2, last 1. Push all the way out and slowly lower all the way back down. So safe to say my inner thighs are on fire already. Now, from here, I'm gonna go ahead and scoot down 2 inches away from my shoulder blocks towards the foot bar. Arms are down on carriage. My headrest is down. My heels stay on that bar. Try to bring them as hip width apart as I can, but it's tough since I have the ring on. From here, I'm going to slowly tuck and untuck my pelvis. So I don't know if you can really see it from that angle, but I'm lifting up my pelvis towards my face, and then I'm arching my back, bringing my pelvis towards my toes, towards my face, and towards my toes. This is a little movement here. Before we get into our bridges, I want to start to mobilize that pelvis, start to get it ready. And this, in general, this just feels really nice as well for your pelvis, for your SI joint. Now, I'm going to finish in a neutral pelvis. A neutral pelvis means that our pelvis is parallel to the carriage, parallel to the floor. I can always check this by placing my hands on top of my pelvis in a triangular shape like this. And that triangle should be parallel to the floor. Now, from here, from my neutral pelvis, I'm gonna tuck my tailbone up, peel off my low back, peel off my middle back, and peel off my upper back. Once I'm in a long diagonal line with my body, my ribs are zipped up, my core is engaged, glutes are squeezed. Now I know that I have reached the perfect bridge position. From here, I'm going to squeeze into that ring once, and then slowly start to let the spine melt down. First, my upper back, then my middle back, finally my low back, and tailbone touch the carriage. There we go. Let's exhale, lift back up. Squeeze, release at the top. Exhale, lower down. As we're going through our bridges, focus on lifting and lowering one vertebra at a time and not letting that carriage open up, not letting that carriage move. Let's go for 4 more full bridges here. Mobilizing that spine to the top. Feeling the glutes and hamstrings and inner thighs. Working when I squeeze into that ring. And then melting the spine down. Exhale, lifting up. Here, I also want to try to move my legs evenly. So our hips, we're trying to lift and lower them evenly. So we don't want that right hip to go faster than the left or vice versa. But we want to keep the movement as even as possible. And now last bridge, I'm going to hold it all the way up at the top. From here, I'm going to squeeze and release the ring. My ribs are zipped up, my glutes are squeezed as I'm squeezing and releasing into the ring here. The core is strong, my neck is long. Last 4, 3, 2, and last one. Keep that ring squeezed. We're gonna keep our back flat. We're gonna slowly lower the hips down, just about halfway. And then we squeeze the glutes to the top. Inhale, halfway down. Exhale, squeeze the glutes up. So now that we've decreased the range of movement of these bridges, we're going to feel the work more on the glutes and hamstrings. So the first set of bridges we did was a little bit more to mobilize the spine, to go up and down one vertebra at a time. Now we're really feeling the work on the legs here. Let's go for 4 more hip thrusts. 3. Last 2. And for the last one, we're going to hold it all the way up at the top. Zip up those ribs. We're squeezing and releasing the ring at the top. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Exhale, roll all the way down to the carriage. Inner thighs are on fire, so let's stretch them out a little. Place the back of the feet together on top of the foot bar and just relax your knees to the side. Enjoy this stretch on your inner thighs. Now for this one, you want to scoot down 2 inches away from your shoulder blocks towards the foot bar. Your arms are down on that carriage to start. You have the ring between your thighs. You're going to exhale to lift your chin, head, and shoulders. Go ahead and lift your legs into a tabletop and then bring the heels together, the toes apart. From here, we have that chest lifted. We're squeezing into those heels, and we're going to start to squeeze into the ring and release. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale, release. Keep your chest lifted. Don't let it drop. Keep your low back pressed down on the carriage. We have 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, and we rest. Now we're going to go ahead and lift up, chin to chest, head, neck, and shoulders come up. We start with the legs in tabletop, heels together. From here, we are going to extend the legs. Inhale to bend. Keep the heels squeezed in. Last 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Now you can drop your knees on each side to stretch out your inner thighs once again. Now I've changed my screen to just 1 yellow. I've put my foot bar down, and from here, I'm kneeling on my carriage, making sure that I'm about down the middle, down the same line as the headrest. I'm kneeling tall, my core is engaged, my glutes are squeezed. From here, I'm going to slowly open up the carriage with the right knee. And now, to close, I'm going to press into the ring, squeezing my inner thighs to close all the way. Inhale to open. And now exhale to close. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Here, every time I'm opening up, I'm thinking about lengthening. And then to close, I'm thinking about really zipping up my inner thighs from my knees to my ribs. So I really squeeze into that ring as a little reminder to squeeze everything in. Everything works together. Exhale, squeezing in. Now 2 more. And now for the last one, I'm going to bring it halfway in, hold, keeping tension on that carriage. I'm going to slowly start to hinge my hips to my heels, and then I'm going to squeeze the glutes up. Try to not move that carriage. Try to keep it still. Squeezing up. And lowering down halfway. And squeezing up. Last 4. 3. 2. And now for the last one, I'm gonna stay up. And now little pulses out and in, out and in. Feeling those tiny little pulses here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And we close our carriage. Now we're going to go into a quadruped position, facing the foot bar. This time we're going to feel the work a little bit more on the core here. We're going to bring the feet against the shoulder blocks, hands are at your pad at the front of the machine. Here, the goal is to not let that carriage move at all. So right now, I'm already using my core to keep it in. From here, I'm going to exhale to lift my knees a little without letting that carriage move, and then I lower down with control. Exhale, lift to the belly, lift to the knees, and lower down. I'm looking down at the floor, my back is flat. Four more. 3, 2, and last one. Now take a breath here. Just take a moment. And now we're going to go ahead and lift our knees up again. This time we push the carriage out slowly, keeping the hips up high, keeping the tail tucked, and we slowly bring the knees back in. Pushing out and coming in. Last 3, 2, and last one. And we rest. Now we're going to go to the other side to finish up our kneeling inner thigh move. We're going to slowly open up the carriage. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale to lengthen. You should definitely feel those inner thighs shaking here, especially after our planks just now. We have 4 more. Three more. Last 2. now for the last one, we're gonna hold it halfway open. Keeping that resistance on the carriage. We're gonna send the hips down to the heels. Try not to move the carriage as you squeeze the glutes out. Send the hips to the heels, hinging down diagonally, squeeze up. Last 4. 3. 2. And last one. Hold it up. Little pulses out and in, out and in, out and in. Last 2. Last one, let's close all the way.